In the name of God. Sophia's programming journey. The ultimate card showdown. These are the topics that we are going to talk about. Introduction. The game of cards. The importance of randomness. The deal cards function. The calculate score function. Player 1 cards. Player 1 score. Player 2 cards. Player 2 score. Comparing the scores. Player 1 wins. Player 2 wins. It's a tie. Strategy and tactics. Bluffing and deception. The psychology of card games. Cheating and fair play. Card games around the world. The future of card games. Conclusion. References. Acknowledgements. Questions and answers. Quiz. The end. Introduction. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we are going to embark on an exciting journey into the world of card games. Whether you're a seasoned player or a curious beginner, this presentation is for you. Card games have been enjoyed for centuries by people all over the world. From the elegant game of bridge to the fast-paced excitement of poker, there is something for everyone. But why are card games so popular? And what makes them so fascinating? Join us as we explore the history, strategy, and psychology behind these timeless games. The game of cards. Cards have been around for centuries, with evidence of card games dating back to as early as the 9th century in China. Today, card games are enjoyed by people of all ages and backgrounds around the world. From classic games like poker and blackjack to newer games like Cards Against Humanity, there is a card game for everyone to enjoy. The importance of randomness. Randomness is an essential component of any card game. Without it, the game would become predictable and boring. The element of chance keeps things interesting and ensures that no two games are ever the same. It also prevents players from gaining an unfair advantage by relying solely on skill or strategy. In a card game, randomness is typically introduced through shuffling the deck of cards. This ensures that each player receives a random selection of cards, making it impossible to predict what cards they will receive. This element of surprise adds excitement to the game and forces players to think on their feet. It also means that every player has an equal chance of winning, regardless of their skill level. The deal cards function. The deal cards function is a crucial part of any card game. Its primary goal is to distribute cards to each player in a random and fair manner. The function takes two arguments, the number of players and the number of cards per player. For example, if there are 2 players and each player needs 5 cards, the function would be called with deal cards, 2, 5. To distribute the cards, the deal cards function first creates a deck of cards, which is simply an array containing all the cards in the game. It then shuffles the deck using a randomization algorithm to ensure that the order of the cards is completely random. Finally, it deals out the appropriate number of cards to each player from the top of the deck. Once all the cards have been dealt, the function returns the remaining deck. The calculate score function. The calculate score function is a crucial part of the game of cards as it determines the score for each player based on the cards they have been dealt. The function takes into account the value of each card and assigns points accordingly. For example, an ace is worth 11 points, a king is worth 10 points, a queen is worth 10 points, and so on. The function also considers the suit of the card and assigns additional points for certain combinations such as a flush or a straight. To illustrate how the calculate score function works, Let's consider a scenario where player 1 has been dealt the following cards: Ace of Hearts, King of Spades, Queen of Clubs, and Jack of Diamonds. The function would calculate the total score for these cards as follows: Ace, 11 points, plus King, 10 points, plus Queen, 10 points, plus Jack, 10 points, equals 41 points. If player 2 has been dealt different cards, their score would be calculated in the same way using the calculate score function. Player 1 cards. Player 1 has been dealt the following cards: Ace of Spades, 8 of Hearts, Queen of Diamonds, and 2 of Clubs. These cards were chosen randomly by the deal cards function, which shuffles the deck and deals a set number of cards to each player. It's important to note that the randomness of the card selection is crucial for a fair game. Without randomness, players could potentially cheat or manipulate the outcome of the game. By using a random selection process, all players have an equal chance of getting good or bad cards. Player 1 score. Player 1's score is calculated based on the value of their cards. Each card has a specific value, and the calculate score function adds up the values of all the cards in the player's hand. For example, if player 1 has a king, a queen, and a jack, their score would be 30, 10 for each face card. This score is important because it determines who wins the game. If player 1's score is higher than player 2's score, then they win. If both players have the same score, then it's a tie. It's crucial to understand how the score is calculated to make strategic decisions during the game. Player 2 cards. Player 2's cards have been randomly selected from the deck. The deal cards function ensures that each card has an equal chance of being chosen, making the game fair and unpredictable. The cards are displayed face down to maintain the element of surprise. The player can then choose to either keep or discard these cards based on their strategy and the current state of the game. Player 2 score. Player 2 score is calculated using the same calculate score function as player 1's. The function takes into account the value of each card and adds them up to get a total score. However, the function also considers the suit of the cards, which can affect the score. For example, if player 2 has 2 cards of the same suit, their score will be higher than if they had 2 cards of different suits. Once the score is calculated, it is compared to player 1's score to determine the winner. If player 2's score is higher, they win the game. If it's lower, player 1 wins. And if both scores are the same, it's a tie. Comparing the scores. Now that we have calculated the scores for both players, it's time to compare them and determine the winner. The player with the higher score wins the game. If both players have the same score, then it's a tie. In this case, the game is usually played again until there is a clear winner. It's important to remember that the scores are not the only factor in determining the winner. Strategy, tactics, and even luck can also play a role. Player 1 wins. Congratulations to player 1 for winning the game of cards. The randomness of the deal cards function played a crucial role in determining the outcome of the game. By using the calculate score function, player 1 was able to strategically choose which cards to play and ultimately came out on top. It's important to remember that while luck does play a role in card games, strategy and tactics can greatly increase your chances of winning. By carefully considering each move and using psychology to read your opponents, you can gain an advantage and come out victorious. Player 2 wins. Congratulations to player 2 for winning the game of cards. They were able to use their strategy and tactics effectively to outplay their opponent. By carefully observing their opponent's moves and anticipating their next move, they were able to make the right decisions at the right time. Player 2 also made good use of bluffing and deception to mislead their opponent and gain an advantage. By pretending to have a certain card or by making their opponent believe they had a weaker hand, they were able to trick their opponent into making mistakes. It's a tie. A tie in card games occurs when both players have the same score at the end of the game. This can happen if both players have similar cards or if they have played their cards strategically to achieve the same score. Ties are common in games like blackjack and baccarat, where the objective is to reach a certain score without going over. If both players reach the same score, it is considered a tie. Ties can also occur in games like poker and rummy, where players can have similar hands or use similar tactics to achieve the same score. Strategy and tactics. In order to win at card games, it's not just about luck. Strategy and tactics play a crucial role. By using these techniques, players can increase their chances of winning and outsmart their opponents. One common strategy is to pay close attention to the cards that have already been played. This can help players predict what cards are left in the deck and adjust their gameplay accordingly. Another tactic is to bluff your opponents by making them think you have a stronger hand than you actually do. This can cause them to fold or make poor decisions, giving you an advantage. Bluffing and deception. Bluffing and deception are key tactics in many card games, especially those that involve betting or hidden information. By convincing your opponents that you have a better hand than you actually do, you can force them to fold or bet more money, giving you an advantage in the game. However, bluffing can also backfire if your opponents call your bluff and reveal that you were lying about your cards. One common strategy for bluffing is to act confident and relaxed, even if you have a weak hand. By maintaining eye contact with your opponent and speaking calmly, you can create the impression that you are holding a winning hand. Another tactic is to make small bets or raises, which can entice your opponents to match your bet and commit more chips to the pot. The psychology of card games. Psychology plays a crucial role in card games, as it involves understanding your opponent's behavior and predicting their moves. By observing their body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice, players can gain valuable insights into their opponent's thought processes. For example, if a player is bluffing, they may avoid eye contact or fidget nervously. Conversely, if a player has a strong hand, they may appear more confident and relaxed. By paying attention to these cues, players can make more informed decisions and increase their chances of winning. Cheating and fair play. In any card game, fair play is essential to ensure a level playing field for all players. Cheating can take many forms, from peeking at cards to marking them in some way. It's important to remember that cheating not only ruins the game for others but also undermines the integrity of the game itself. Cheating in card games can have serious consequences, both socially and legally. In some cases, it may lead to criminal charges, such as fraud or theft. Even if it doesn't go that far, cheating can damage relationships and reputations, both within the game and outside of it. That's why it's crucial to always play by the rules and maintain a sense of fairness and sportsmanship. Card games around the world. Card games have been played around the world for centuries, with each culture putting its own unique spin on the game. In Japan, Hanafuda is a popular card game that features beautifully illustrated cards depicting flowers and animals. Meanwhile, in India, Teen Patti is a gambling game that is often played during Diwali, the festival of lights. And in Egypt, Balut is a trick-taking game that requires players to work together to win tricks. The future of card games. The future of card games is an exciting one, with technology playing a major role in shaping the way we play. With the rise of virtual reality and augmented reality, players can now experience card games in a whole new way. Imagine being able to sit at a virtual poker table with players from all over the world, or using AR glasses to see your cards and opponents' cards in real time. Another trend that's emerging is the use of artificial intelligence in card games. AI-powered bots can now play card games at an expert level, challenging even the best human players. This not only adds a new level of challenge to the game but also helps players improve their skills by analyzing their gameplay and providing feedback. Conclusion. In conclusion, We have learned about the game of cards and its popularity around the world. We have explored the importance of randomness in card games and how it ensures fair play. We have also delved into the functions used in dealing and calculating scores for players. Furthermore, we have discussed the various strategies and tactics used in card games such as bluffing and deception. We have also touched on the psychology of card games and how players can use it to their advantage. Lastly, we have emphasized the importance of fair play and the consequences of cheating. Remember, whether you're playing for fun or competitively, card games are a great way to exercise your mind and socialize with others. So go ahead and shuffle those cards, deal them out, and let the games begin. Contact information. YouTube channel for those who want to learn programming for game design or anything else. Sophia's programming journey is ready to provide services to you, dear friends. And don't forget to subscribe the channel and like the videos, turn on the bell, and don't forget to leave a comment. We love you so much. Acknowledgements. Before we conclude, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the amazing team of contributors who made this presentation possible. Firstly, a big thank you to our research team who spent countless hours gathering information and data to make this presentation informative and insightful. Secondly, a special shout out to our design team who created the stunning visuals that brought this presentation to life. And last but not least, a heartfelt thanks to our technical team who ensured that everything ran smoothly behind the scenes. And of course, none of this would have been possible without our wonderful audience. Thank you for your attention and engagement throughout this presentation. We hope that you found it informative and enjoyable. Questions and answers. Thank you for your attention. We hope that this presentation has given you a better understanding of the game of cards and its many facets. Now, we would like to open up the floor for questions and answers. Don't be shy, no question is too big or too small. If you have any doubts or queries about the topics covered in this presentation, please do not hesitate to ask. Our team of experts is here to help you and provide you with all the information you need. We want you to leave this presentation feeling informed and satisfied, so please feel free to speak up. Quiz. Welcome to the quiz section of our presentation on card games. We hope you've been paying attention because this is where we test your knowledge. First up, a multiple-choice question: what is the role of randomness in card games? A. To make the game more exciting. B. To ensure a fair game. C. To make it harder for players to win. D. None of the above. Next, an open-ended question: how can strategy and tactics be used in card games? Take your time and think about it. There's no right or wrong answer, just your own perspective. Finally, another multiple-choice question: what is the importance of fair play in card games? A. To prevent cheating. B. To maintain the integrity of the game. C. To ensure a level playing field. D. All of the above. The end. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the world of card games. I hope you found it as fascinating as I did. Remember, card games are not just about luck, but also strategy, psychology, and fair play. Keep these in mind the next time you play with your friends or family. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me. You can find my contact information on the last slide. Let's stay in touch and continue our conversation about card games.